Hello and welcome to the module number 4, lesson number 2, which is creating threads. In this module, we are going to learn the concepts about creation of threads, extending the thread class and its methods, examples using methods of thread class, creation of threads by implementing the runnable interface, the main thread, the thread creation, subclass or runnable, common pitfall in thread execution, thread names with the thread class, thread names with the runnable interface, and finally we will look at thread.currentThread and getName methods. Let us first go through the concept of creation of threads. There are two methods to create a thread. The first one by extending the thread class and second one by implementing the runnable interface. We are now going to look at the creation of threads using the extending the thread class. Let us go through one simple example of creation of a thread. We have a public class thread example extends thread where I have a public void run method and I am printing thread is running in this method. Then I have the public static void main where I am creating an object for the thread example class using thread example t1 equals to new thread example, and when I call the start method t1.start and I execute the program, I get the output thread is running. Remember, I am calling the start method for this object, not the run method for this object. Let us go through basic explanation of what we have done in the previous example. The thread example class extends the thread class and is overriding the run method which is inside the thread class. Thread example class begins by instantiating itself. Then a newly created thread will be in the born state or a new state. So by calling the start method, the thread moves from the new state to the runnable state. Start method will call the run method which is overridden by the thread example class. So we have few conclusions here. We need to override run method of the thread class every time. Code written inside the run method is executed when the call to the start method of the class which extends the thread class happens. If run method returns or throws an exception, then we can say that the thread dies. Let us look at a basic information of the thread class and its methods. Thread class. Thread class provides constructors and methods to create and perform operations on a thread. Thread class extends object class and implements the runnable interface. The commonly used constructors of thread class are thread, thread with string name parameter, thread with runnable R parameter, thread with runnable R string name parameters. The commonly used methods of thread class are public void run, which is used to perform action for a thread, public void start, which starts the execution of a thread while JVM calls the run method on the thread, public void sleep with the parameter long milliseconds, which causes the currently executing thread to stop temporarily or to cease execution for the specified number of milliseconds, public void join, which waits for a thread to die, public void join with long milliseconds parameter, which waits for a thread to die for a specified number of milliseconds, public int get priority, which returns the priority of a thread, public int set priority with integer parameter priority, which changes the priority of a thread, public string get name, which returns the name of a thread, public void set name with the parameter string name, which will change the name of a thread, public thread get current thread, which returns the reference of currently executing thread, public int get id, which will return the id of the thread, public get state method, which returns the state of the thread, public boolean is alive method, which tests if the thread is alive, public void yield method, which will cause the currently executing thread object to temporarily pause and allow other threads to execute. Public void suspend method, which is used to suspend the thread, but this method is deprecated. Public void resume method, which is used to resume suspended thread, which is also deprecated. Public void stop method, which is used to stop the thread, and this is also deprecated. We also have public boolean isDaemon method, which will test if the thread you're looking at is a daemon thread. Public void setDaemon, which takes a parameter boolean b, which will mark the thread as a daemon or a user thread. Public void interrupt method, which will interrupt the thread. Public boolean isInterrupted method, which will test if the threads has been interrupted. Public static boolean interrupted, which will test if the current thread has been interrupted. Let us look at a small example using the methods of thread class. Class multi-threading demo extends thread, where I have my public void run method and I have try catch block inside it. In the try block, I am displaying the thread that is running using system.out.println thread plus thread.currentThread.getId is running. In the catch block, I am throwing the exception system.out.println exception is caught. I have the public class multi-thread, which is the main class, in which I have the public static void main, and I am initializing int n is equal to 8 because I want to create 8 threads, and I have the for loop where I am creating it using int I equals to 0, I less than 8, I plus plus, multi-threading demo space object equals to new multi-threading demo. Here I am creating the object for the multi-threading demo class, which is the thread class. Then I am starting the thread, each thread using object.start. When I execute this program, I get the output something like this. Thread 8 is running, thread 9 is running, thread 10 is running, thread 11 is running, thread 12 is running, thread 13, 14, 15 is running, one by one. It is not mandatory that you see the threads running one by one sequentially. You may get the thread 9 after thread 13 or so on. Let us look at an example. Public class runnable thread implements runnable. Public void run for int I equals to 1, I less than or equal to 10, I plus plus, system.out.println I. Then I have the public static void main, runnable thread t1 equals to new runnable thread, thread equals to new thread of t1, thread.start. When you execute this program, you get the output which prints the values from 1 to 10. Note that if you are not extending the thread class, your class object would not be created as a thread object. So you need to explicitly create a thread class object. We are passing the object of your class that implements runnable so that your class run method may execute. Let us look at a simple explanation of the class that we have created using the runnable interface. In the program, the class needs to implement the runnable interface first. So we have written public class runnable thread implements runnable. The runnable interface has a run method which we need to implement. So we are writing public void run, and inside that we are writing the statements for printing 1 to 10, which is the for loop, and printing of the I value. Now we need to create an object of the class which implements the runnable interface. So we are creating runnable thread t1 equals to new runnable thread. If we use runnable, then we have to instantiate the thread class and pass the runnable to it. So we are doing thread equals to new thread of t1. After creating the thread object, we can invoke the start method to execute the run method. Even if you don't create any thread in your program, a thread called main thread is still created. Although the main thread is automatically created, you can control it by obtaining a reference to it by calling current thread method. Two important things you should know about main thread are: it is the thread from which other threads will be produced. Main thread must be always the last thread to finish execution. It goes like class main thread, public static void main, thread t equals to thread.current thread, t.setName, main thread. And then we have a print statement, name of the thread is. When you execute this program, you get name of the thread is thread main thread, 5, main. Let us next look at whether during thread creation we should be using subclass or runnable class. What is it which makes it better? There are no rules about which of the two methods that is the best. Both method works. Commonly, it is preferred implementing the runnable and handing an instance of the implementation to a thread instance. When having the runnable executed by a thread pool, it is easy to queue up the runnable instances until a thread from the pool is idle. This is a little harder to do with thread subclasses. Sometimes you may have to implement runnable as well as subclass thread. For instance, if creating a subclass of thread that can execute more than one runnable. This is typically the case when implementing a thread pool. When you implement anything new, you would definitely find some pitfalls. We also have pitfall for the thread execution. What is the common pitfall in thread execution? Let us look at. Calling run instead of start. When creating and starting a thread, a common mistake is that we call the run method of the thread instead of the start method like this. Thread new thread equals to new thread within parenthesis my runnable. New thread dot run is what we usually by mistake tend to do. But it should be start method instead of the new thread dot run. So at first you may not notice anything because the runnable run method is executed like you expected. However, it is not executed by the new thread you just created. Instead, the run method is executed by the thread that created the thread. In other words, the thread that executed the above two lines of code. To have the run method of the myRunnable instance called by the new created thread, new thread, you must call the new thread.start method. The next concept is naming the threads and with the thread class. So, thread names. When you create a Java thread, you can give it a name. The name can help you distinguish between threads from each other. For instance, if multiple threads write to system.out, it can be handy to see which thread wrote the text. Here is an example. Thread equals to new thread of new thread, public void run system.out.println run by plus get name, thread.start system.out.println thread.getName. Notice the string new thread passed as parameter to the thread constructor. This string is the name of the thread. The name can be obtained via the thread's getName method. You can also pass a name to a thread when using a runnable implementation. Here is how that looks like. myRunnable equals to new myRunnable, thread equals to new thread of runnable, new thread, thread.start system.out.println thread.getName. Notice, however, that since the myRunnable class is not a subclass of thread, it does not have access to the getName method of the thread executing it. Here is an example of how to use the thread.currentThread method. Thread equals to thread.currentThread. Once you have a reference to the thread object, you can call the methods on it. For instance, you can get the name of the thread currently executing the code like this. String thread name equals to thread.currentThread.getName. Example, the program first prints out the name of the thread executing the main thread. This thread is assigned by the JVM. Then it starts up 10 threads and give them all a number as the name, something like plus I of how we do in a for loop. Each thread then prints its name out and then stops executing. Let us have the class which defines it. Public class thread example, public static void main, system.out.println thread.currentThread.getName, and I have a for loop int I equals to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus, new thread of plus I, public void run system.out.println thread colon plus get name plus running. Close the public void run method, close the block of where we created new thread and give a dot start, which means we are creating a new thread and calling the start method for each of those threads. After that, we are closing the for loop also, which means we are creating 10 different threads and calling each of them to start. And when we are asking to start, in between we are getting the name of those threads and printing the name of those threads in the run method. We have a few points to note here. Even if the threads are started in sequence, that is 1, 2, 3 and so on, they may not execute sequentially, meaning thread 1 may not be the first thread to write its name to the system.out. This is because the threads are in principle executing in parallel and not sequentially. The JVM and or the operating system determines the order in which the threads are executed. This order does not have to be the same order in which they were started. So as a summary, we have created threads by extending the thread class and also by implementing the runnable interface. We have seen different methods of thread class and used a few of those methods in examples, and then we have seen what are the pitfalls during the thread execution, and also we have seen how to call the name of the threads when we run a thread.
Thank you.